Well, so I have Mama Vio Sabwaje looking like some office executive this morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Charlie, a day. How was your day yesterday?
It was crazy. Okay, I mean, let me confess, I was late yesterday.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, and I didn't know that drivers actually drive on the shoulders of the road, and they create chaos as early as 5:30 a.m.
So you drove on the shoulders of the
No,
road?
I didn't. But thanks to the police, I mean, for the first time, they were stationed at some points. So, and they saw all the people who drove on the shoulders. And then you get there and say, Masa, park.
And you were excited. They say,
I was smiling. Because you see somebody who came to pass you, who was doing the wrong thing, now parked and he's begging.
Yeah.
And then you're like, deal with them. Right. Yeah.
I love your dress. It
Here
looks
I
nice
am.
on TV. Yeah. All right, please do your...
Stop making me uncomfortable.
Oh,
Let's do the
please,
Daily Graphic
relax.
newspaper.
Whoever makes you uncomfortable.
Front page of the Graphic this morning, implementation of national towing project postponed. That story
That's
on
a project
page
I'm related
16.
to.
Yeah, but we're not talking about you. I'll read a bit of that.
All right.
Kwesi Botcho Committee presents report to NDC. Woyome heads to African Court of Justice. My government won't shield lawbreakers. President Akufo-Addo assures Ghanaians 34,000 driving licenses uncollected. That's also another headline. Lots of headlines in the paper this morning. Back page of the Daily Graphic, though. MOFA, that's the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, launches food farms for schools tomorrow. Story says the Ministry of Food and Agriculture will tomorrow roll out the senior high school version of the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative, a flagship program of the government seeking to ensure food security in the country. Called Food Farms for Schools, the initiative will be implemented in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. They've got details of that on the back page of the paper. But my interest now is in page 16 in the Daily Graphic newspaper. Two stories from here. One, the Ministry of Transport has directed the National Road Safety Commission to postpone the implementation of the road safety fee policy following ongoing stakeholder outcry and discussions in the media. The Sector Minister, Mr. Kweku Ofori Esiama, in a statement issued in Accra yesterday, said the directive was to give stakeholders the opportunity to address public concerns appropriately. The policy, as you may well know, was scheduled to take effect from July 1, 2017, but now it's been postponed. We know there's a series of meetings ongoing. Parliament's Committee of Transport also stepping into the situation. So as and when we have fresh updates of this story, we'll let you know. And this was in our news. After a long wait, the Kwesi Botcho Committee, which was tasked to investigate the circumstances that led to the defeat of the National Democratic Congress in the 2016 general election, has finally presented its report to the party with far-reaching recommendations towards its reorganization. As you know, not a lot of details were shared. A few recommendations from the executive summary that was shared by the chairman of the committee. But for us here on the AM show, we do have Neil Ante van der Poy, who's a member of parliament for Odododio. He happens to be a member of this committee. So hopefully we get to learn a lot more things from this heavily paged document that's been presented to the NDC. Okay, I think there's another story of interest in page 20, a little bit of it as well, and it has to do with Alfred Agbeshi Woyome. Story says he has dragged the Attorney General to the African Court of Justice in Arusha, Tanzania, in the matter of the 51.2 million Ghana cedis he owes the state. In his view, the Supreme Court violated his human rights when it ruled that he should refund to the state the 51.2 million Ghana cedis which he obtained through court processes. And there are details of this case in the paper this morning. Roland, before I hand over to you, maybe two more. One on page 32, 33. Okay. Yeah. All right, so more than 34,000 driving licenses issued since 2008 are yet to be collected by applicants according to the DVLA. In terms of annual figures, the list is dominated by 4,629 persons who applied for driving licenses between January and May this year. And out of the number, the 37 DVLA office in Accra alone has 11,167 licenses that are waiting to be collected. So the figure for the entire country is, what is that, 34,000. So 34,000 people applied. Are they on the road? What license are they using? If it's a TV license, they better get off the roads. All right, there are lots of stories in the paper this morning. Let's look for the Daily Graphic.
Change. Change has come, so you need to change.
Now, I'm just wondering, if 34,000 people applied for license and they have not claimed it, I wonder what they're driving on the roads with. That's all I'm saying.
Shall I have to confess? Do you know what?
You're part of the 34.
Initially, when I said I drove for years.
You should be arrested and prosecuted for the offenses committed before.
It's only when I left my last station, I told you, Charlie, rather, no more clothes.
Charlie, this is confession, live on TV. So for how long did you do that for? Like for the while when you were at TV3? And they saw you as a media person, so nobody stopped you.
They won't stop me. They won't ask me license.
Do you have license now?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Valid? Can I see
had
it?
For 4 years.
Do you know that it expires every year, that you have to behind the license?
I know.
Are you sure they've got a sticky thing on it?
I'll do,
are you sure, Roland?
I'll do the next one in October. I did the last one,
Yeah?
Because I got caught the first time, so I got... Charlie, but we need to obey all the regulations on the road, because when we don't do that, then we put the life of other people at risk. And you know, many of the times you're driving and the regulation says that, well, when you go and run into somebody, it's your fault. But many of the times it's the careless driving of somebody who is in front of you.
Yeah.
And so whilst you're trying to be defensive, you can't be overly defensive.
Exactly.
Because somebody is just being silly on the road.
It's true.
So
one of my prayers is
you not being rammed into by somebody.
Until very recent, my prayer was, help me, Father, not to be involved in an accident. And then I realized I could be a victim
of an accident.
So I kind of pray for that as well.
You know, until I ran into a stationary car about 7 weeks ago, I never thought I could be a victim of that.
See?
Then one thing I always prayed against was that nobody should carelessly, let's say, lose his bearing on the steering and come and run into you. You know, it will be no fault of mine.
Yeah.
But you know, we just have to be each other's.
We say defensive driving, but I hear if somebody is really careless.
If somebody's brake is failing, what do you do?
Yeah.
And you know you are the tail end of it. So just.
Okay, so which paper do you have now?
I have.
You do the Daily Guide, yes, I know.
I have the Daily Guide. So it says we have the story. It says we won't protect lawbreakers, Nana. And then we have why NDC lost 2016 Kwesi Botche report reveals, and towing levy suspended, and Baumia opens Ediok concrete factory. But the main story is about the NDC, and Mama View was the first to post that on a page we selectively have. And I said I was just communicating with the team or with her on the page, and I said, well, perhaps anyway. And that's how we're going to take a look at it. And it says division, but we have Peace Store that has been scheduled, etc. And it says in the run-up to the critical election, the NDC with state resource at its formed many splinter groups to promote the second term bid of Mahama, etc. And they said they were cited as being removed from the grassroots of the party. So that's the current state in which it is. So we have other stories also there. Big majority for Emmanuel Macron, also, who is the president of France in Parliament, is also being announced. Okay.
I've got the Finder, so I'm following up with the Finder newspaper. And keep sending us your messages, particularly the regular SMS. Roland's going to work on my WhatsApp in a bit so that we can get the WhatsApp messages coming through. But in the meantime, you can send us regular SMS. But let's do the Finder newspaper. Front page of the Finder. Nana fires judges, says rulings that have no basis in law or orders without reason are unacceptable. And this was during the swearing-in ceremony of Chief Justice Sophia Ekufo. NDC crowded out intellectuals. Professor Butcher report. So what we are doing, because we don't have the benefits of the full documents, is to just turn the recommendations around. And that's just what the finder has done. And that's why it's arrived at this conclusion that NDC crowded out intellectuals. Asamoah Gyan sinks 2.1 million Ghana cedis into charity. Controversial mandatory towing levy suspended. Kweku Fori Esiama, Transport Minister, comes with this headline in the Finder newspaper. Maybe just a bit of it of the judge story, page 2 in the paper. And I'm happy that there was a comment on this, is it a stalemate, whatever we choose to call it, that's happening in Savelugu. President
we're discussing that this morning.
Yeah, we are.
Talk.
We are. Fortunately, we have a current Deputy Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, and then we have a former Minister of Local Government.
Yeah.
So it will be good. It will be
Look
good
at a very biased friend of mine, former DC for Shama.
What did he say?
It's a good morning, Roland. You're looking charming, but your partner is outstanding. Please, Mempia de Mazen.
Thank you.
That's
all. He's just stating a fact.
Then he even adds something that is, he said, my regards, your regards to him. Brother.
Please, what is his name?
I'll tell you. You don't have to be mentioning
him.
Now that he is praising you plenty.
In page 2, this is the Finder. Page 2 says the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has bemoaned the situation in the country's judicial process, where some judges give ruling that have no basis in law or give orders without reason. He described as unacceptable the situation where some judges prefer judgments on the basis of decisions from lower courts and cite them as law, when even less so, the judges cite no authority at all in their rulings. He therefore emphasized the need for judges to avail themselves to knowledge of their chosen profession and to discharge their duties creditably. And he said a lot of things that we will catch up on in talk later on this morning. Shares in 11 Woyome companies to be charged. That's also another story there. Woyome making the headlines the greater part of yesterday, and I guess the whole day today.
Alfred Agbasi Woyome. We have the Ghanaian Times. It has on the front page a picture of Chief Justice Sophia Ekufo, a new Chief Justice, her ladyship. Good morning to you. I know that you're watching us. I'm told that
she doesn't tolerate that. Keep your good morning and go ahead.
All right. So President administers oath, says she will bring honor to judiciary and country. 34,005 driver's licenses remain uncollected, according to the Chief Executive of the DVLA, Kwesi Agyeman Buzia. And now we have Bruhaha Forces suspension of national towing project. On the back page, though, we have Plan International provides boreholes for towns in Eastern region. And some of the beneficiary towns in the area are said to be in Minta Krom and Amahin Kwanta, all in the Ikropong North District of the Eastern region. Good initiative by Plan International. Another story, we have conference on resilient energy for African countries apparently opens in Accra. It's been a while I've seen such headlines. See how that goes. But
yes, sir.
I have the Daily Dispatch newspaper,
right, go ahead.
if I'm permitted to do that. Kwesi Botwe Committee on NDC's defeat. NDC showed strengthened research base. And Sylvester Mensah, can he be a giant killer? Don't ask.
As in what? As in a presidential candidate? Well, I think I heard somewhere that he's got presidential ambitions.
I think he's got a chance. He's a very vociferous person, and very assertive, good in management. So he looks like a candidate for the future. So,
how about Professor Kwesi Botwe?
Professor Kwesi Botwe. Well, you want my candid view?
No, I'm not asking. Keep it to yourself.
Right.
I'm just saying. You're done?
Because if I say something.
Are you done with the dispatch?
And then apparently my former boss at and also GJA president, Gifty Afeni Datse, she's 60 years, ma.
Oh, it's a
Congratulations. Good morning to you.
It's a birthday?
It's a birthday.
Wow.
Gifty Afeni Datsi.
Yeah.
50.
Mrs. Gifty Afeni Datsi. Happy birthday to you. Let's do the Al-Hajj newspaper. And I guess a good morning to Al-Haji Bature Idrisu will be appropriate. Front page of the Al-Hajj newspaper.
Oh, she's called Al-Haji Bature Idrisu?
Yeah.
Right.
Senior police officers crumbled over contracts for retiring officers. Corruption scandals hit Akufo-Addo's 6-month-old government. And then there's this Akufo-Addo's mystery white hanky, Juju or fashion. I haven't taken notice of that. What, he carries a white handkerchief?
No, he's been using during his days as a lawyer. It's got nothing to do with anything. It's fashion.
Okay, so just a bit of this one. That says corruption scandal hits Akufo-Addo's government. Says having been overwhelmed by the high-profile corruption scandals that have hit his 6-month-old government, President Akufo-Addo is now banking hopes on the support of Ghanaians and God to fight the canker he promised would never happen when he is elected president. Okay, this bit about the police, senior police officers crumbling for positions or something of the sort. It says there's simmering tension in the Ghana Police Service over decision by the Akufo-Addo government to engage senior police officers due for retirement on contracts. The Al-Hajj intelligence has gathered. Sources in the police service have told this paper that instead of government ensuring officers due for promotion are elevated, it is rather allowing some senior officers due for retirement to continue on contracts, thereby denying other officers of their promotions on codes. And they've got a highly placed source that's giving them the information. You can read all about it in the Al-Hajj newspaper.
All right, so we have a couple of your messages. So I have the last paper, BNFT, but before I do that, Mama V, your beats look nice. Where can I get one? A man is asking apparently. Francis K. Francis K, good morning to you for asking for Mama V's beats. We have good morning also to you. Good morning. Don't read this. Just need your investigative journalist phone number so I can give them some information.
So don't read. Move on.
Please help with this because what the BNI people are asking me to do is very difficult for me. Thank you for your help. I will call you. The number is 02.
Hey, are you kidding me?
And then we have good morning, Mama V. You look good. However, are you a Nigerian princess? Roland, look really smart. Thank you very much, Michael from Kumasi.
Doesn't matter if I'm a Nigerian princess or...
because you have the red beads and all that going
wherever
on.
I'm fit, that's fine.
Okay.
I love wherever you place me.
Fajinam says, good morning, Mama V. I have appealed to... I appeal for help to tell the president of the land to donate a month of his salary to me and bring me back to normal.
I remember your message. I told you to be real.
Good morning, Mama V. The safe way for some of us to have our driver's license renewed and upgraded is with the DVLA for almost 3 years ago when we went for it. Hey, Charlie, bro, easy. Hi to Mama Eric Kwaku Tadi, old friend. Old friend. The Mooncroft.
Oh, hello. Good morning to you, Eric. I hope you're well.
Good morning. You guys are looking superb, working together, and I love it. By Vitus from Bongo Namu. Good morning to you, Vitus. And we think those who are here.
What's that?
And then we also have Chinese. Good morning, Mama V and Roland. Mama V, help me wish my daughter Draviyom, jubilant. That's all we need. And sister Dravi Nunana Evelyn, happy birthday. Happy birthday to your two ladies, sweet ladies. And wish them long life and prosperity. And that's from Selassie from Kyra. Please stop calling the line. It's not your personal line. Just text.
Let's do the online review now. Roland would be reading the messages as and when he gets
you guys are looking splendid this morning. Caution your hostess, if she continues looking so provocative every morning, she'll soon be expecting. Hey, please, so. How did her husband release her this morning? From Gerard, please. That is a very vulgar, listen. Even me cramming in the studio, I can't even utter.
Let's do myjoyonline.com. Jose Wusu bats at critics. Okay, can we hold it? Jose Wusu backs at critics of mandatory toll tax. That was in our news. He's added his voice to the toll tax situation. He's been DVLA boss before, so I guess from that point of view, there's a lot that he knows that he can share. Let's move on though. Still on myjournline.com, government suspends mandatory toll tax. This is one of the biggest issues in Ghana today, obviously. All right, let's move on. Half Nigerian food aid for Boko Haram victims not delivered. Up to half the food aid meant for people.
Let me come and stand here with you.
Fled Nigeria's Islamist insurgency.
You know the story.
Has reportedly not been delivered, the government says. So what is happening now is security personnel taking the food for distribution directly to the places where they're needed the most. Corrupt people so along
and you know
the
there's
line.
another one, dates that were donated by Saudi Arabia for Muslims in the Boko Haram hit areas.
Yeah.
Were being sold on the market. So they go to the market of Sokoto, Maiduguri.
Then they go and sell what's been donated to be delivered for free.
So the people went, because the Nigerian government gave them the markets and the areas in which they could donate, and the mosques, and and they went there, and the Saudi Arabians went to see their dates, serious dates, being sold on the market.
Because usually those are customized, they're special.
They were donated.
There's a story, was it Anas that did that expose as well, where this
in
same
Ghana.
Story,
in
where
Ghana.
rice and other things that people give out to very poor areas, the people in charge along the chain, they sell the things.
In Ghana.
Oh, yeah.
In
This is
Ghana.
our African story, so. Resettling Bremen pupils in leaky roof. Cracked building is temporary. That's according to the DC. The district chief executive of the Odobing Brakwai in the central region has taken responsibility for the decision to allow students of Bremen Jamra to study in a near dilapidated building. And this is a story found by Justice Baidu. Follow up to, remember the building that collapsed in the central region? We talked about it. It's been 4 months now, and the relocated building is worse. Worse, eh? And the DCA, Charlie, Ghana, hey, I don't know, like...
Tell your children, where do they go to school?
It's not about my children. Okay. It's about the children of Ghana.
No, I just wanted
Same way that we tell the stories, when there's disaster, it becomes big news for us. But beyond that, we're all human beings and we're parents as well. And so when you see a certain structure that somebody's defending and has put little kids in there.
Every parent
really,
who knows
really
the drudgeries of putting children through school, even in very good ones, knows that it is even a Herculean and a difficult one, especially not only for the parents, but even for the children to be studying poor schools or dilapidated schools, because it's not the best, I should say.
I agree. So this is a follow-up to that. And the DCE spoke on Joy FM on Newsnights yesterday. And then, you know, essentially took responsibility. We'll see what they actually do on the ground in the coming days, because he's given some timelines, but trust that we'll be following through. Another story that's been on my mind is one that was filed by Erastus Asari Donko, and this is a school that caved in Mampong. He had told the story just months or weeks before, and just like Justice did in this particular story, he looked at the structure and said, Charlie, this structure looks like it can just come down anytime. And yeah, just a couple of weeks after that report, the building actually caved in. We will be touching base with Erastus sometime to come to find out what has happened to that Mampong school structure.
We'll see how that goes.
So Kwesi Botchwey report re-echoed Rawlings' June 4 message, according to Koku Anyido, who is the NDC Deputy General Secretary.
Koku Anyido, is he a Rawlings man? Got away.
Please, let's move on in.
Okay. That was like a South African
there's
speech.
a full text, Akufo-Addo's speech, and CJ is swearing in. You can catch up with it. It's on myjournline.com. Okay, so this, the towing. I won't shield you from the law. Akufo-Addo tells off NPP Sablugu dissidents, and we will weigh in heavily on this conversation, the subject. Akufo-Addo wants Sablugu lawbreakers arrested. Unfortunately, the police people who are on the ground, who hear the people speak on radio, who know them because they are party people, they haven't made one single.
It's true. They don't.
Not even the person who's been inciting, the person who's been
Be fair to them. They haven't seen them.
They haven't seen them, eh?
They haven't seen them.
So they don't know them.
Even
Are they supposed to be
even
like,
the people who went to the court, they didn't see them.
are they supposed to be gathering intelligence or something of the sort?
They haven't seen them. It's a problem.
So we hope that now that the president has spoken, it will trickle down and the police people would have the confidence in doing what they are mandated to be doing in the first place. The
policeman who makes that arrest, that night he won't sleep. Roland, please, did you have your national service at Adan? No, I was posted to Ejumako.
But he didn't go.
I went there 2 months. I ran back to Accra.
Yeah?
So I didn't do my service in Adan.
You didn't do your service? So you don't have a national service certificate?
No, not at Adan. That's not what I'm saying.
No, Roland, let's talk about this. You didn't do the mandatory national service.
Please read some of the message. I can't see.
Let's do City FM Online, Roland.
City FM Online. We have AG set to orally examine Woyoma on June 29 and have nothing wrong with government funding Christian pilgrimage. Okay. I guess this man is talking because he wants Muslims to also be funded to Mecca. I don't think anything's wrong. But I think that funding people to pilgrimages is not the way to go. And then Achimota School to reclaim encroached land in 7 years. And then we have Ghana Gas denies report of missing 47.4 million gas funds. Ghana dear. Mrs. Kano Tumyo. MPP executive must intervene in Savalogo on pass. Hey! Are you sure it's them? Cheba 4. Even Cheba 4 himself, he was at...
yeah, he was denied, as in he didn't get there. But I listened to this interview.
But he's still been renominated.
No, he hasn't been renominated yet. I listened to him on City FM yesterday. So he didn't get the required votes. But he's hopeful that the president, would renominate him again.
I don't think. So I think that we need people like that at the
We do, but unfortunately, you can't think far when such people.
Rather.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Because, they will insist on the right things to be done. That's the problem. So.
Okay, so here's a message that says, what keeps people from securing licenses that are crude and rude? So is a rude and crude attitude of DVLA officers, especially when they know they can't milk you, then they put blocks on your way of getting the license. Example, if you score 15 out of 30 questions, you failed. Why should I fail if I scored 19 out of 30 IT-based exams? I tell you what, I think I'm a good defensive driver, and I am good. I failed my exam. Should I tell my story?
Yeah,
maybe some other day.
Wait, but you had your license?
Yeah.
So corrupt.
Wait. But I haven't told you the story.
Please, we have Business and Financial Times.
Wait.
Banks vie for Accra Skyline. Business and Financial is the last paper we're looking at. Failed license. It's also on the front page of the AM show.
I haven't even told you half of the story.
I don't want to listen. You failed the license, but you have it. It's a corruption.
Do you know if I had to retake the exam?
Business and Financial Times. It is on your screens now. Banks vie for Accra Skyline with multi.
Let's do the BBC and then just do a
No, before we do the BBC, let's do this one. I'm paying for Mama V today.
Hey!
She told me that she didn't have. I'm telling you.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we missed yesterday. But I was honestly going to tell you that I don't have. I can only afford to pay for today.
Yeah, so today I'm putting 50 Ghana in it. However it is, let's...
I should keep this one.
Yeah, keep it.
Hey!
My good has come.
No.
My good has cometh.
Roland doesn't do things for free.
It is for something.
For how long have I known you?
Only this morning.
Let's finish up with the BBC. A death sentence for Somali minister's killer, Abbas Abdullahi Siraji, was shot dead by a soldier who reportedly mistook him for a militant. Half Nigerian food aid not delivered. We've had this conversation. Record 65.6 million people displaced, 5 killed in attack on Mali Resort. Just before we run off, can we just go to the world page and catch up with any updates in London because of that attack that happened?
But before that, we have some messages for you.
Well, this one says, good morning. Well, good morning. Hey, okay. Don't get personal, I beg. Let's just stick to the issues. Asabre from Kumasi says, please, when is GS going to lift the ban on transfer and why the embargo? Asabre from Kumasi.
We don't know. We don't know.
Trump condemns North Korea after student dies. So, you know, this gentleman.
What is he going to do at North Korea?
See, that's the thing that I was also asking myself.
I want to go and see. They say that place is controversial. I want to go and see.
And he was arrested. He was arrested in 2016. He was in coma. So he had been in custody for about 17 months. Returned, but he was in coma in the U.S. And then yesterday he died. Very young, fine boy in a very good family. But there you have it. I don't know. I just say that when people say all these bad things about North Korea, why do they still go there?
I don't know. They want to go and experience the thing. Sometimes it baffles my mind. Okay. So we want to wish speedy recovery to our lead producer, Derek Ekosam. He's been admitted to our internal infirmary here and he's recovering. So Derek Ekosam, please, speedy recovery to you. We know that you are laying down sick in our internal infirmary here. Please recover. Let's find some Panadol tablets for him. All
right, keep the messages coming through. We obviously cannot read all right now, but we'll be sharing a lot more in the course of our programming this morning. Stay with us. Benedict is up next. He's got sport right here on the AM show, after which it will be time for talk.
With Mama Bill Sabwadi.